Welcome to Ellie Goldsmith's Relationship Flow. We're in a new week and it is hopefully going to warm up a little bit, but even if we can't warm it up in the physical sense, the weather situation, let's at least warm up our hearts, our homes with a lot of mercy, a lot of positive thoughts and a lot of good energy, even if we don't feel that way, because the importance of our relationships is really priority. As Stephen Covey wrote in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the concept of family first, the prioritization, both with time management and also in terms of just understanding on a heart level, on a true level, on a truth level, on a universal level, that family relationships have to come first. And that gives us hopefully the ability to warm up ourselves and the people around us with that love and rachamim, as we say in the Jewish sources, but this idea of sweetening the judgment, sweetening the bitterness. This is our challenge. This week is a big week in the Jewish Parsha with the Torah. It's all about relationships in terms of how difficult it is to find that soul partner, to find that soulmate. And even in my own life, someone is thankfully at a point where they're going on their first date, and that's a big thing for us. So, this idea of going through shidduchim, of going through the challenge of finding a soulmate, is as difficult as going through the splitting of the sea. And this is something which every day we, as a Jewish people, sing about in our prayer service. And as Yosher, we talk about how this wondrous day we will sing the futuristic song of what it means to really, truly have completion. And that is obviously a connection between our birthing of children and the idea of coming through that sea, through that yam, going out of Egypt, going out of all our restraints and coming out into the world, a new people, so that we can be soul and connected to our ultimate soul, which is, we talked about already, our creator. And how do we bring it down on a real level? So one, we know that this obviously is not an easy thing, even though every day we sing about it, every day we tap into that light. But to practically make it happen in a way that brings us joy and brings us peace of mind on a daily level, and the challenge to develop that soul connection with ourselves and our soulmate around us, whoever that person is, since it's such a difficult, wondrous experience, it gives us a little perspective that we don't have to be so hard on ourselves if seemingly it seems out of reach today or the next day or the day before. And we don't have to give up. That's the point. That we should never give up. Since it's such a wondrous thing to be able to go beyond yourself and join with another human being, and since this is needing such a huge miracle on a daily level, you'd say, but why? Just work on yourself, be a nice guy, a nice person, see the good, all the basic ideas that people talk about, listen carefully, listen actively. But somehow, because the person needs to really work on themselves on much deeper levels than we truly understand, because there's also the idea of reincarnations and there's many other levels of the soul that need fixing. So sometimes the soulmate is actually a person who's not going to be your trophy wife, but it's going to actually make you into a winner, as Gedalia Fencer talks about a lot. It's going to give you the opportunity to really go beyond yourself to become the better person, and therefore it will come with some sort of challenge, some sort of difficulty that sometimes feels overwhelming in a way that's just impossible. And what do we say? Impossible is the same letters I'm possible. I'm possible to do this, and that's the reminder of the splitting of the sea, that we have the ability to do this wondrous feat of finding our soulmate and becoming more one. And even when, say, for example, finding panasa, finding the ability to support oneself and support a family, sometimes feels also completely overwhelming and impossible. I'm possible, and I can do it. As Yosha, we will sing the song, we will be able to do what we need to do to bring down that blessing. Just like in this week, also we talk about the man. There's this tremendous challenge on a daily level to believe that there's going to be what we need coming to our doorstep so we can feed our family. And the truth is, no matter how hard life gets and how hard sometimes that feels, it is coming every day, that heavenly bread into our home, into our life. And we just have to allow, once again, by letting go, going with the flow, having that relationship flow, opening ourselves up to that divine providence that's on a daily level, that's flowing into our life, and allowing ourselves to experience that oneness of soul, that oneness of chef of divine abundance that can come into our life. Even as I'm saying this, personally, I had a really difficult night. I'm incredibly exhausted, but then that is the challenge, to overcome the limitations of mankind and go into a higher level of spirituality and oneness. And if, say, a person doesn't feel so spiritually connected and are listening to this saying, yeah, okay, I hear, but what do you do if you're not feeling that way? So it's not about feelings. Again, as Gedalia Fenster says, you have to go beyond your feelings and know that you're on the right path if you're giving to another human being in a true way, in a realistic way, in a balanced way, and know that that's something worth dedicating yourself to. Having mercy, having that compassion, having that empathy. This is our generation. This is what's needed, that vulnerability, that realness, and that will give us the strength to sweeten all those judgments, just as this year, as we're going out the winter time, the more difficult weather time, and we're sweetening it with the rise of Tu B'Shvat and the fruits and the renewal of creation and the sap inside on the inner level, and it starts to manifest through the blooming and the blossoming and the whole transformation. So too, if a person just gets through the time period with a dedication to what the values are and what the truth is, that will give you the power to eventually come and see that beautiful soul connection that you're working on so hard, and you'll see the benefits that come from it, or the blessing that comes from it. So I'll give that as a blessing to everybody. Tune in to your relationship flow. It will bring everything you need, everything. And I thank you again for listening, and looking forward to hear your relationship flow. Please share on and keep living in a flow that gives you that meaning and fulfillment and joy. Thank you.